Oh, Jamar Chase with the dive. Because Garrett Wilson's wide open. Garrett Wilson, touchdown Barrett. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the video here in the World of Juice channel, and welcome back to another episode of the 2012 Cleveland Browns rebuild here on Madden 24 on the PC. It is episode number 2, and we are still in the process of changing history. Now, there were some interesting things that happened last episode. If you missed it, go back and watch it. The draft was very, very weird. We got some guys that we wanted, but we also didn't get some guys that we may or may not have wanted. I think we've come out of this first draft, this first season, as a better team than we were in year one, but we still need those guys developed, because all the guys that we took are basically super low 70 overalls or high 60 overalls. But we know, judging from past simulations I've done with this mod, we know that those guys will eventually develop. It's just going to take a couple of seasons. So we got to just ride the wave until we have guys that are in the 80s and 90s, and then we will be back. The Cleveland Browns will be back. I promise you that. But let's get into episode number 2, season number 2 of this 2012 rebuild, changing their history, and see what happens, because, ladies and gentlemen, the 2014 NFL draft class is coming up, and we've got Jadeveon Clowney. We've got Aaron Donald. There's Odell Beckham Jr. So many players in this draft class that could potentially be wearing Cleveland Brown orange and brown next season. We will find out. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club, and let's get started. So here we are, picking up right where we left off last episode. It is 2013, and the reason we are here is because we got to do the dang thing. We got to import the draft class 2014. Oh, yes! Oh my God, I can't believe we're here. Jadeveon Clowney, Khalil Mack, Mike Evans, Odell Beckham Jr., Aaron Donald, Kyle Fuller, Zach frickin' Martin, Ryan Shazier, CJ Mosley, Clinton Dix, oh my God, DeMarcus Lawrence, Joel Bitonio, Bradley Roby, Jimmy Garoppolo, the most attractive man in all of NFL history. Oh my God! Devontae frickin' Adams is in this class. It just keeps getting better and better. We are in the market for an NFL quarterback. Is Johnny Manzel the NFL quarterback that we're in the market for? I don't know. That would be pretty funny if we were able to grab Johnny Manzel, wouldn't it? As for running backs, we are still in need of a running back backup, not necessarily a starter because we have Trent Richardson, but we could use a backup running back. I wouldn't be mad at a James White. I certainly wouldn't even be mad at a Devontae Freeman or even a Carlos Hyde. I wouldn't be mad at any of those guys. Maybe even a Dree Archer for the speed alone. He's a Madden Mobile legend. Who else? Anybody else down the board? I don't really think. No, nobody else down the board there. As for receivers, obviously I'm putting Mike Evans, I'm putting Odell, I'm putting Kelvin Benjamin, I'm putting Devontae Adams and Jarvis Landry, Allen Robinson, Martavis Bryant. We're going all out with receiver, because receiver is going to be a need for us. That is for sure. We've got Adam Thielen and Josh Gordon. That is the receiving core as of right now. We are in shambles, if you could say that. We could go Allen Hurns or Willie Snead, but we're fine with what we have now. Tight ends, we have Travis Kelce. We did draft Travis Kelce last season, so tight ends is not necessarily the biggest of needs, but a Cameron Brate certainly doesn't hurt, or even a Trey Burton. He was a solid NFL player for a while. Then we go to the left tackle spot. You've got a Taylor Lewan, a Jake Matthews, a Jack Mewhort, all these Laurent Duvernay-Tardif, who is a fantastic human being. So we can put all those guys on the list. And then the guards, you've got Trey Turner, you've got John Urschel, who could be something. He was okay for a season or two. Centers, not really a whole lot available. Corey Linsley, maybe. Matt Paradis, maybe. I don't really know about those guys. Zach Martin, obviously, is a stud. Brandon Linder. Who else? Andrew Norwell, possibly. Right tackles, Joe Batonio, but we could obviously move all these guys around. We've got Morgan Moses. It's crazy. I thought Morgan Moses was a little bit younger than that, but I guess not. Charles Leno could be something we pick up or we look at. Left ends, obviously, I'm putting Khalil Mack and D Ford on here for sure. We'll also go with, is that it? Maybe Michael Sam. I'll put Michael Sam on there just for the laughs. And then Jadeveon Clowney, DeMarcus Lawrence, no doubt about it. Stephon Tuitt, he was a solid player. Is he passed away? Did Stephon Tuitt pass away? If he did, I rest in peace. But if he didn't, I apologize. I didn't mean to kill you if he did. Or if he didn't. But if he did, I apologize. R.I.P. Who else? Anybody else? Nobody else there. D tackles, obviously Aaron Donald, Timmy Jernigan. Who else? Lewis Nix, or maybe it was one of these Notre Dame players that passed away. I can't remember exactly. Anybody else? No, not really. Not looking at anybody else there. Anthony Barr, Kyle Van Noy, Telvin Smith. We've been through this draft class a few times now, so we know some of these guys develop. We certainly know that. Or at least some of these guys have decent development traits, I should say. Middle linebacker, definitely Shazier, definitely Mosley, maybe even Preston Brown. Who else? Probably nobody else in this one, I wouldn't think. No, I'm not really feeling anybody else. Jeremiah Tacho, Marcus Smith could be something. Kevin Pierre-Louis, maybe. We'll add all those guys on the board. Shaq Barrett, but we know for a fact that Shaq Barrett's a super low overall, similar to Matt Judon. So we'll have to bookmark him. Corners, they took Justin Gilbert. The Browns did in real life, but we'll stay away from him. Kyle Fuller, Jason Verrett, Bradley Roby, Shirley. Anybody else? Maybe up here, Desir, maybe, if it gets down to that point. Ross Cockrell could be something, I guess. Ricardo Allen, meh. Malcolm Butler, maybe. But we only know Malcolm Butler becomes good because he had that one play in the Super Bowl and literally did nothing else. Clinton Dix, LaMarcus Joyner, Calvin Pryor. Hey, CB Bryant. Who else? Strong safeties. I'll put Deion Buchanan. Anybody else remember Deion Buchanan? He was like a early 2000s, 2010s, I mean. Madden glitch because he was super fast. You could move him to linebacker and he would be unbelievably good. But we'll put him on the list. Trey Boston we'll put on the list. Who else? Anybody else? Daniel Sorensen. Yeah, definitely. He's a what? And then kickers, Chris Boswell, maybe. Cody Parkey. Punters, not really seeing anybody there. Okay, so we've got ourselves our favorites board. I think we need to get Johnny Manziel just solely because it's Johnny Manziel. Johnny Football needs to come to this team. I think that's a pretty much guarantee. But let's take a look at this roster. We haven't taken a look at it since the last episode. So we've got some holes that need to be filled, but we are starting to develop. Remember, we've got a lot of young guys that are low overalls. So we need a couple of seasons for them to turn into what we know that they could become. Travis Kelce's one of those guys. Adam Thielen is one of those guys. On the defense, we've got Jabal Sheard, who I'm hoping takes that next step. We got AJ Bouye, who we drafted, who we know has superstar development, but we need to develop him because he's got low overall. Atiba Rubin went through last season as a normal development, got star development in an upgrade, then got superstar development in the same season. It was unreal. I'm still in shock that it happened, but he is now here as our 81 overall superstar development D tackle. We've got Frosty Rucker, who I think we signed in free agency. I don't remember exactly. Or maybe he was here. He might have been here originally. I honestly don't remember. We've got LJ Fort, who we re-signed. He's a star development player. We've got TJ Ward, who got star development last season during the simulation. And we got Nickel Roby-Coleman, who we drafted as well. So we are hoping that obviously Joe Hayden develops and continues to play well. But then we need our two young rookie corners to also play pretty well. So I will simulate to the midseason mark, and then we will catch up back there once we are at the point where scouting really matters. And remember, we only have one first-round pick this year. We don't have two like we did last season. So if we want to get everybody that we want to get, we're going to have to make some moves. We have arrived at the midseason mark, week number 8, and we currently sit at 1-6. Not a surprise. I expected us to be this bad. I also expected us to be 0-7, but we are 1-6. We did win a game. Let's take a look at the good old mock draft. So right now, mock draft number 1 previously had Jadeveon Clowney being the number 1 pick, as you would expect. Then Greg Robinson, Khalil Mack, Blake Bortles, Odell Beckham Jr., Aaron Donald. But then, as we are right now, Greg Robinson has jumped in that spot at mock draft number 2 with Blake Bortles, then Odell, and then Johnny Manzel. I don't think we're going to take Johnny Manzel in the first round, but I definitely want to grab Johnny Manzel. I really want to grab Johnny Manzel. So that's what the mock draft looks like as of right now. We'll obviously learn a little bit more about the mock drafts as we get to 4 and 5. But the reason we're here at the midseason mark is because we got the national focus. Corner and receiver are the top needs for us and are the strengths of the class. I think I'm going to set my thing to receiver because we really need to get a number 1 receiver. I mean, we have Josh Gordon and we have, what's his face? Adam Thielen. But we need to have ourselves a number 1 receiver, and we've got all of these options. We got Mike Evans, Odell Beckham Jr., Kelvin Benjamin, Devontae Adams. If we could walk away with 1, maybe even 2 of these guys, that would be really awesome. I doubt we walk away with 2, but we certainly could walk away with Devontae Adams. Definitely. I could certainly see that happening. So we're going to have to figure out what our game plan is going to be in terms of, do we try to trade for a second first-round pick? Is that going to be a viable option for us? Because there's a couple guys in here that I would certainly want to get, but are we going to be in position? Do we come away with Jadeveon Clowney and Aaron Donald? That would really help the defense. Pairing alongside Atiba Rubin with Aaron Donald, and we're winning games now. Why are we winning? Stop it. Stop winning games. Why are we winning just back-to-back games right there? We are at week 11, which is another crucial point in the season. We have a tandem breakout on the defense. Sean Smith and Joe Hayden. Okay. We will go with praising Sean Smith to get him that ratings boost, I guess. Maybe Sean Smith can get himself a star development. That would be really helpful if he could get up to star development. And then Joe Hayden goes up to X Factor. I'd be all for that. But let's go talk about some players. So we know how good all these guys are going to be. We know that Jadeveon Clowney is going to be amazing. We know that Aaron Donald is going to be amazing. We know that Khalil Mack is going to be amazing. We don't really have to focus on those guys. But I kind of want to use one on Johnny Manzel just for the giggles. We know that Odell Beckham Jr. is a top 5 player in the class. That is not a shock. What else can we find out about some of these players? We probably need to get an offensive lineman in this class. I don't know who that offensive lineman is going to be. Probably not going to be Zach Martin, even though it'd be amazing to get him. Let's see. Should I use it on CJ Mosley or Ryan Shazier? Because getting a middle linebacker would be really good. We probably do need to come away with another corner as well. Man, we just need so many things. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to come away with everybody that we need to get because we need so many different positions. I'm going to use one on CJ Mosley. We know Ryan Shazier is going to be good, but CJ Mosley could be a different story. And then we will use another one on maybe DeMarcus Lawrence. Probably an offensive lineman, I would guess. Let's use it on Joel Bitonio. No. Let's use it on Corey Linsley. Because getting a center or getting a guy that can be flexible with Alex Mack would certainly help us out. So that is going to be where we go with that. Negotiations. I haven't taken a look at this yet. So we have Alex Mack, speaking of the devil. Tayshaun Gibson, TJ Ward. And then there's not a whole lot else. I did see Josh Gordon there. We will go ahead and bring Josh Gordon back, even though he doesn't want to be here and he's kind of useless for lack of a better phrase. But he's Josh Gordon, and he's a 69 overall. Maybe he's going to help us out. I don't know. Alex Mack definitely want to bring back. We're going to get him on a long-term deal because he's 27 and he's a pretty good overall, and we don't have a better option currently, so we might as well get him on a good deal. And he's coming back for a long-term stay here in Cleveland. Tayshaun Gibson's also coming back on a long-term deal, 4 years, maybe about $6 million and $6 million. He's coming back. Perfect. We got ourselves our free safety. Now we need to get our strong safety. Why does nobody want to be here? Oh, it's because we don't have a quarterback with the franchise tag. Well, that could change if we get Johnny Manzel. That could change. I'm also going to re-sign John Greco because offensive line depth is crucial. So that is going to be on the docket, and he's coming back to play. We have $92 million, and we should probably bring back Sean Lauvo. Because, like I said, offensive line depth is pretty important. And we have the money to do it, so he's coming back as well. O'Neal Cruz is 29. We can probably find somebody better than that and younger. Colt McCoy, if you weren't a 54 overall, I'd bring you back, but I don't really want that. So that's going to be everybody that we negotiate with. We're 3-6. We need to lose more games. Texans are 10-0. The Jags are 1-8. Cardinals, Titans, and Bills and Bucks all have 2 wins, and then we're lumped in here with a bunch of 3-win teams. So we need to lose a bunch of games. Is it going to be possible to lose a bunch of games? I don't know, but we will find out. I will simulate to the end of the season, and we can figure out if we got that tandem breakout. We lost the game to the Steelers, not shocker there. No, they didn't get it done. The tandem breakouts rarely ever work. I don't think I've ever seen one, not Madden 24 at least, that has worked. But we don't get the tandem breakout. We're 3-7, which is much better. I'm glad we lost. But I will catch you guys at the end of the season when we have the results on where we're going to be picking. We wrap up Season 2, and I'm on the standing screen because I want to show you that we fumbled the bag tremendously. We won our last 2 games, including beating the #1 pick, Jacksonville Jaguars, to end up having 5 wins. We're still going to have a top pick in the draft, but we had the potential. We were battling with the Jaguars for the #1 pick just a couple of weeks ago. We could have locked up the #2 pick in the draft if we didn't fumble the bag and win 2 games. I don't know what we were thinking. I don't know why we won those games, but we won those games, and we finished with a record of 5-12 and are depressed. But hey, we knew what we were getting into when we signed up to rebuild this team over the decades, or the decade, I guess. So it's not a surprise that we're bad, but we're trying to get better. We've got promise. We've got Trent Richardson. We've got Travis Kelce. We've got Adam Thielen. We've got Atiba Rubin. We've got some promising young players on this team. Kelce's an X factor. That's exactly what I was looking for. Adam Thielen's a superstar. Exactly what I was looking for. I mean, if we didn't have bad morale, these guys' overalls would be even better. So we just need to find ourselves a quarterback, a couple extra pieces here and there, and we are good to go. We're going to be pretty good in a couple of years. DeQuell Jackson, superstar development. Was he superstar development before? I don't think so. Bouye, we knew, was superstar development, not a shock, and he's actually going to jump up to be the #3 corner over Buster Skrine. And then Nickel Roby-Coleman still a 65. He didn't play at all, I don't think. The defensive line is okay. Jabal Sheard did not take that next step. We're going to probably have to move on from him. That's a tough decision because I do like Jabal Sheard. I think he's a very solid player, but we're probably going to move on from him. And the Super Bowl is Panthers-Patriots. Come on, Pats, get it done. Beat Cam Newton and the Dogs. We lose. 28-20, Patriots drop a Super Bowl. That hurts my heart. That hurts the old heart right there. Season recap. Did they win last year's? They did. Okay. I could have sworn the Patriots were in the Super Bowl again. Cam Newton is the MVP of the Super Bowl. Rodgers MVP of the league. Not a shock there. That Packer playbook in these old days is real good. We might need to switch to that at some point. Rodgers also the Offensive Player of the Year. Ndamukong Suh is the Defensive Player of the Year. Justin Hunter, wide receiver for the Rams, is Offensive Rookie of the Year. And Kiko Alonso, middle linebacker for the Cowboys, is the Defensive Player of the Year. So those are all the awards. We will check the stats. I didn't forget. Sometimes I do, but I didn't forget this time. Stats on the season. Brandon Weeden sucked. But that's what you would expect from a 30-year-old rookie not a rookie quarterback, 30-year-old quarterback in his third season. Trent Richardson got over 1,000 yards with 12 touchdowns. That's nice. Good progression from him. Josh Gordon and Adam Thielen both got over 1,000 yards, both with 5 touchdowns. Maybe we could get lucky and see the star development upgrade for Josh Gordon. That would be a really nice thing. Travis Kelce also had 700 yards and 4 touchdowns. Defensively, DeQuell Jackson, 172 tackles. That might be why he went up to superstar, because 172 tackles is crazy. Batamosi had 108, and he's got the future starter tag, so that's pretty interesting. Good for him. TJ Ward had 102 tackles. Atiba Rubin led the team with 22 tackles for loss, 40 tackles for loss for Rucker, 14 for Taylor. Sack leader was Rubin with 6, 4 for Sheard. He just didn't have that much of an impact. It's just, I wish he would play a little bit better. Osama Young, Joe Hayden, and Tyshawn Gibson had 2 interceptions, but we're not really turning the ball over, but that's to be expected. We're not that good of a team. I'm not shocked that we're not turning the ball over. And we move to the offseason. I don't know what's going to be here. Free agency could have a couple of players for us. We have a decent amount of cap room, so it's not like we can't go in and make some moves. Mock draft number 3 has us at the number 5 pick, Khalil Mack going 1 to the Jags, Clowney going 2 to the Cardinals, Beckham 3 to the Titans, and then Robinson 4 to the Jets. Us taking Johnny Manzel. I'm not going to take Johnny Manzel in the first round. If he goes in the first round, fine, but I don't think that he's going to go unless he's going to us, and he's not going to go to us in the first round. Aaron Donald has dropped all the way to 12. That's very impressive for us. I like that. I like that a lot. Because if somehow we could get 2 first-round picks and we could get up into these top 2 spots and also grab Aaron Donald, things could happen. Some things could happen. But remember, that's only mock draft number 3. There's still 2 more before we know exactly where everybody's going to go. And we'll take a look at this again. I will bring back Batamosi now because he is a star development player, so he has earned the right to get a new contract. Plus, he had that future starter tag, so he could be useful. He's coming back. And then everybody else will get their walking papers. And we will go into free agency, hopefully, with a decent class, especially in the positions that we are in need of. And we will make sure that we can be good. It's offensive line. But it's the offensive line position that we don't need. We don't need a left tackle. We need a quarterback, but none of these guys. We could go EJ Manuel. That could be pretty fun. He is only 24. Is he really going to be that bad? Is he going to be that worse than Brandon Weeden? Probably not at this point. We'll sign EJ Manuel. Running backs, we have our guy Trent Richardson, but a backup would not hurt. But I don't think any of these guys... Ooh, Beanie. Yeah, let's get Beanie. I love Beanie. We'll go for Beanie Wells to be our backup running back. He kind of wants to be here anyway, so let's do that. And then we will go to receivers. Jermaine Kearse being 24 is interesting, but 10 teams are interested in him, so I'm probably not going to go that route, but it is intriguing. There's some interesting names in here, but nobody that I want to go for. Tight ends. Man, Travis Kelce, Aaron Hernandez would be a deadly combination. Hernandez would be murdering people on the field if we grabbed him. I think I have to get him. If we're going all in on Johnny Manzel, we got to go all in on Aaron Hernandez. It's just a way of life. We got to do it. We got to do it. So we're going to offer Aaron Hernandez a fat bag, and he's going to come play backup tight end to Travis Kelce. Now that is quite the killer tight end core, if I do say so myself. Offensive line's just not really in a market, or not really in a spot where we can go and get it. Oh, if we're going to bring in Aaron Hernandez, a 1-2 punch would be Greg Hardy. I mean, that's insane. I might as well go in Greg Hardy, man. That would be a knockout blow for our defense if Greg Hardy played for us. Oh my God. Defensive line, Terrence Cody at 26 is intriguing, but he's not a high enough overall really to make a difference. Defensive line, Linebackers, Not really seeing anything I like here. Corners, we only have one more offer we can make. And there's not a lot of people I want to make an offer on. So, safeties. We just re-signed our safety. What was Malcolm Jenkins again? He's only 26, but with normal development, he's not going to do much at 26. And then, Seabass. Sebastian Janikowski's here, but he is already 36 years old. Mike Nugent. We're fine. We are fine. So our available... What a free agent class this is. This is a group of names right here. Aaron Hernandez, Greg Hardy, Beanie Wells, and EJ Manuel. That is a list of players, if I've ever seen one. And they all signed with the Cleveland Browns. We are going all in, ladies and gentlemen. All in. Absolutely. Now, how will those guys impact the team? Probably not very much, but EJ Manuel might even be our starter. He might even be our starter. So we go to the defensive side of things. We've got Greg Hardy starting over Jabal Sheard. I don't hate that, actually. Defense is looking okay. Bouyer's our number 2. He should develop again next season as well. Hernandez will be behind Travis Kelce. All right. We're seeing some improvements. We are certainly seeing some improvements. We will move on to the draft period. And this is where it gets crazy, because this is where we maybe need to trade for another first-round pick. I know it sounds a little wild, but it could be a possibility. Mock draft number 4 has been released. They have Bortles jumping to number 2. Didn't he? Who fell? Somebody was number 2. Wasn't it another? Was it Bortles still? Hold on. I can go back at you, I guess. Oh, no. Bortles was all the way down at 14 to the Cowboys. But in one mock draft, he jumps all the way to number 2, so the Cardinals must be desperate for a quarterback. They still have us taking Johnny Manzel. We're not going to take him in the first round. If he falls to us in the second round, we'll probably take him. Maybe. But we're not taking him in the first round. Aaron Donald's starting to climb the boards. We only have one mock draft left. I'm getting a little worried he's going to jump us. I am getting a little worried he's going to jump us. How do we maneuver this draft? That is going to be a big question. How are we going to maneuver this draft to make sure that we walk away with a bunch of good players? Because if we hit a home run on this draft class, we are going to be set up for a good amount of players in the next couple of draft classes. We're going to be pretty good. So now we have arrived at the final mock draft. Where does it say everybody's going to fall? It is locked in to Jadeveon Clowney falling to number 4. He fell. I didn't even notice he fell to number 4 last time. Oh my God, this is insane. Okay, so things are gonna happen. Cowboys could get Zach Martin. That's pretty fun. This is crazy. All right, so basically, if we jump one spot to number 4, we can come away with Jadeveon Clowney. And if we get back into the first round to get Aaron Donald, our defensive line would be set. We'd have Clowney on the end, we'd have Donald and Rubin in the middle, and then Greg Hardy on the other side. I'd say that's a dominant defensive line. We could get good really fast with this. That's crazy. I can't believe that he fell that far. We know about some of the receivers. They're not a problem. As far as guards go, I'd like to learn a little bit more about Trey Turner. I would like to know a little bit about Joel Bitonio. And I probably want to use this last one on maybe DeMarcus Lawrence in case of a backup plan. If we don't end up getting one of those other guys, that's probably going to be where I go. Yeah, let's go DeMarcus Lawrence. Let's learn a little bit more about DeMarcus Lawrence. Unfortunately, we're not going to learn 100% about him, but we sure learn like 80, 85, 90% on those guys. We will simulate. Oh, teams are interested in Aaron Hernandez. Funny. Okay, let's simulate to the draft, but we're not going to go into the draft just yet because there could be moves to be made ahead of time. Trade center. We know that we can pretty easily trade up one spot to the Jets. I'm pretty much sure it would just be a swap 4 for 5. That's not a worry. But what the worry is getting number 8 from the Saints. This is going to be, or number 9 from the Saints. I thought it was number 8. Number 9. The Saints were the ones projected to get Aaron Donald, so they're the ones that we're going to trade with. They want Trent Richardson and Joe Hayden, or all of my picks, or Trent Richardson and a lot of my picks. Okay, so we're not going to do that. Calm down there. We're not going to do that. But we are going to do a DeQuell Jackson move. 30 years old, superstar development. I could certainly see this being a guy that we move on from. As far as 2016 goes, we have to remember what draft classes aren't that good. I don't think 2016 is that great because that's the Jared Goff draft and the Zeke Elliott draft, I think, right? Is Zeke in that draft? He might be. I don't think we'd be in the market for a first-round pick there. But unfortunately, we're so bad that our first-round picks are going to be good. But hopefully, by 2016, we're a little bit better. We're not in the market for a top pick. And if we are, we can try to get one later on. What about if I give up a 4th-rounder in 2015 as well? That didn't really do much. I don't have a 4th-rounder this year. I must have traded it already. I could give you another player, I guess. I have Frosty Rucker. If we're gonna get Aaron Donald, we don't need Phil Taylor anymore. Trade offer declined. Okay. And then I could somehow add in that 4th round or that 5th round pick in 2015. Very close. But how about a 6th round pick in 2016? Trade offer accepted. DeQuell Jackson, Phil Taylor, a 1st in 2016, a 5 in 2015, and a 6 in 2016 for pick number 9 in the draft, which means we can come away with Jadeveon Clowney and Aaron Donald in the 1st round of this draft. I can't forget that we have to trade with the Jets too. I got the hard trade out of the way. Now we just have to trade up one spot. I would assume that this would just be a straight up swap. I wouldn't think they'd want anything else, and perfect. They just swapped with us. 4 for 5 is absolutely amazing. And now we are in position to get Aaron Donald and Jadeveon Clowney. Our defense is going to be unreal. Let's take a look at that final mock draft just to be sure. Yeah, we've moved up to 4, so we have Jadeveon Clowney locked up. We've moved up to 9, we have Aaron Donald locked up. Our defensive line is going to be unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Let's start drafting. I'm excited, boys. Okay, number 1 pick in the draft should be Khalil Mack. Jacksonville Jaguars do take Khalil Mack. He goes number 1. Cardinals, take Blake Bortles. Good luck. Number 3 pick in the draft is Odell Beckham Jr. Not a shock, not a surprise. We are grabbing ourselves Jadeveon Clowney, one of the best pass rushers coming out of college in this year. Looks amazing. Grab me some Jadeveon. 89 speed, 94 acceleration. Played for the Browns in real life at one point, and he's here as a rookie. Love to see it. The former number 1 overall pick in real life, and he's made his way to Cleveland. The Jets now take Greg Robinson. Mike Evans goes 5 or 6 to the Giants. The Bucks take Eric Ebron, and then Kyle Fuller goes to the Bucks, and that leaves Aaron Donald on the board. We could take Zach Martin, which would be amazing, but I'm working on the defense. Aaron Donald, welcome to the squad. 87 strength, 92 acceleration. We've got a Hall of Famer in the 1st round. Oh my God, I am loving this 1st round that we've just had. Colts at 11. We'll take Ryan Shazier. I love Ryan Shazier. Deion Buchanan goes to the Raiders. Bengals get Sammy Watkins. Zach Martin ends up falling to the Cowboys. CJ Mosley to the Vikings. D Ford to the Eagles. Anthony Barr, Rams. Dominic Easley, Bears. Brandon Cooks to the Bills. Bradley Roby to the Chiefs. Packers take DeMarcus Lawrence. He was only going to be a backup plan if we couldn't get Jadeveon Clowney. Derek Carr is a Charger, so maybe Phillip Rivers' backup plan. Taylor Lewan goes to the Seahawks. Niners take Justin Gilbert. Good luck with that. Paul Richardson to the Ravens in the 1st round. All right. Jeremiah Tacho to the Falcons. Lions take HaHa Clinton Dix. Steelers get Jimmy G. There's Big Ben's replacement. Marcus Smith to Washington. Houston takes Kelvin Benjamin. Come on, New England, don't fumble this. Jimmy Ward, not a bad pickup. I'm not mad at that. Jarvis Landry goes final pick of the first round to the Panthers. Jags come back and take Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Two Gloves makes his draft debut. Coney Ely, and then Tim Jernigan. So we are back up in the second round. Pick number 5. Jake Matthews is on the board, which I would not be mad at. I would certainly not be mad at that pickup. Is this the spot where we take Johnny Manziel? We're looking for a quarterback option. Is Johnny Manziel the quarterback option? I'm not 100% sure. Devontae Adams is here. We do need a receiver. We know that Martavis Bryant is around 1 to 2 true talent, and he's around 3 to 4 projection, so he could be a guy for us. I kind of like the Jake Matthews idea, although we're not really in the market for a tackle because we have Joe Thomas and we have Mitchell Schwartz. We could move Mitchell Schwartz, I guess. That's a possibility. Who else is on this board? Joel Bitonio. I like that idea too. We can move him into guard. We need guard more than we need tackle. Anybody else on the defense pique the interest? No, it's either going to be offense, straight up offense skill position, or it's going to be offensive line. I'm thinking either Joel Bitonio, Jake Matthews, or Devontae Adams. That's kind of where I'm thinking here. And let's be fair, if we really want Johnny Manziel, we can trade for him. He's not going to be that difficult to get. He's going to be a super low overall. So it's not going to be that difficult. We need a receiver. Do we just go for Martavis Bryant after we take an offensive lineman? Or do we grab Devontae Adams knowing he's going to be amazing? Pair him alongside. The only problem is we don't have a quarterback that can throw him the football. But getting offensive line help would be a lot more of a smarter thing to do. I like the idea of trading Mitchell Schwartz because we could probably get a first-round pick for Mitchell Schwartz. He's an X-Factor offensive lineman, and he's pretty young. So that's not that bad of an idea. And getting his replacement in Jake Matthews certainly is a good idea. But then Joel Bitonio's here as well. Oh, this is tricky. We've already had a home run of a draft. So I think I'm going to take Jake Matthews. We're going to grab Jake Matthews in the second round. Only normal development. That might be a little bit of a miss. Okay. But we have a possible replacement for Mitchell Schwartz. And remember, I did that solely because we are looking for another first-round pick down the line, and Mitchell Schwartz could be a guy that gets us that first-round pick. I'm not saying that he will, but it's a possible. Devontae Adams goes to the Vikings. Do we want to trade into the second round again to maybe seal the deal on Joel Bitonio? That might be a smart thing to do. Allen Robinson. When is he projected to go in the actual big board? He's right up there at the top. I don't know if I can, especially with now missing on Jake Matthews, him not having development, I don't think we can miss Joel Bitonio. No, I didn't want to go back to the draft board. We might have to trade into the second round to get Bitonio. How difficult is it to get the Niners' second round pick here? Would it be difficult? Pick 56. They want a 2016 second and a 2015 third. Okay. See, this is what I'm talking about. Mitchell Schwartz, 89 overall, and he's only 25. Like, we can trade him away if we need to get a first round pick. We don't have a punter. We don't have a fourth round pick. Do I value the second round pick that much? 2015. 2015 I don't think is that good. Not that I can remember, at least. It's the Jameis Winston draft with Marcus Mariota. I don't remember who else is in that class. Those are just the two guys off the top of my head that I can remember. think we got to go for it here. I don't want to give them my 3rd round pick this year. Trade offer accepted. That might be a bad idea, trading that 3rd round pick in 2016, but I'm really banking on the fact that we are good in 2016. We're going to take Joel Bitonio, also normal development. So right now my offensive linemen don't have a development trait, but my offensive line currently don't have a development trait. So at least the guards don't. So Bitonio will move to guard. I don't know which, probably right guard. And we will be pretty good from there. I think we can simulate to our pick now. There goes Johnny Manzel to Washington. If he would have fell to the 3rd round, I probably would have taken him. But he doesn't fall. Now we're in the 3rd round. I talked about possibly a backup running back in Devonta Freeman. Martavis Bryant is still here. He's probably normal development now that I think about it. Everybody else on the defense. Kevin Pierre-Louis is intriguing. He's got elite speed, elite acceleration. I like what Kevin Pierre-Louis is looking like. Telvin Smith, we've gotten him plenty of times before in these rebuilds. We know, I think he has star development or something. So we know what he's about. I like the idea of Kevin Pierre-Louis. I think that's our guy. Yeah, we're passing up on Martavis Bryant. He's around 1 to 2 talent, but his ratings really aren't that good. And maybe he's there in the 5th round. I doubt it, but maybe he is there in the 5th round. I'm going to take Kevin Pierre-Louis, and we'll just have to ride it out with some bad receivers again. He is also no development, but look at that speed. 90 speed, 90 acceleration, 87 agility, 87 change of direction. All right, I'm happy with that. Next user pick is round 5, pick 5. We'll see what's on our board. We've got Dree Archer, Cam Brate. Some centers are available. Andrew Norwell. This could be an Andrew Norwell pickup, or it could be a Pierre Desir pickup. But we're pretty good at corner. He doesn't have that good of speed. We have depth at corner. They just need to keep growing, like overalls. Shaq Barrett's undrafted. I like the Andrew Norwell option. I think that might be what we go with. Or we could grab Corey Linsley. Do we think that Norwell or Linsley would be here in the 6th round? They might. If we go to all regions, are any of them projected to be like pretty soon? Linsley is projected to go higher than Norwell. Norwell's not even up here at the top. Okay, so if we're gonna take anybody, we're gonna take Linsley. I think I'm gonna grab him, and then we just hope that Norwell's in the 6th round. Lindsey also, that's not Corey Linsley. He's also normal development. So all of my offensive line pickups have been normal development. That's kind of sucky. Especially because offensive line is the one position where you absolutely need to have guys that have development traits. Norwell does make it. I'm going to grab him as well. And he's finally got hidden development. That is not Andrew Norwell. What is going on? He is in the tanning salon a little bit too long. All right. We also have another 6th round pick, pick 30. I don't know where we got that from. Shaq Barrett did go to the Carolina Panthers. What else is on our board? Dree Archer could be fun for speed only. He's only got great speed. 4.35 is still pretty fast though. That could be fun. Or we could go Daniel Sorensen. We don't have a punter actually. I just realized that. Do I want to take a punter in the 6th round though? Yeah, why not? Let's take a punter in the 6th round. Pat O'Donnell, welcome to the squad. We got ourselves a punter. I'll take it. And then in the 7th round, I don't know. I guess if Dree Archer's there, we'll take him. I guess if Dree Archer's on the board, we will grab him. He is. That's probably where I'm going to go. We could take Chris Boswell, but Daniel Sorensen's also here. He's a what? He doesn't look that good. We're going to take Dree Archer. He also doesn't look that good, but he's fast. 93 speed, 98 acceleration for Dree Archer. Madden Mobile glitch. So this draft was a good draft. We did a good job with the first 2 picks. We got our franchise defensive linemen with both Clowney and Aaron Donald. Clowney being a 78, Donald being an 80, but it really falls off a cliff after that. Matthews is a 71, Bitonio's a 71. Pierre Lewis is a 67. Lindsey's a 63. Norwell's a 61. O'Donnell's a 67. Archer's a 57. So it really falls off a cliff after that. Highest player in the class was Odell Beckham Jr., not a surprise. But we got the second highest guy in the class, and then tied for third, Khalil Mack and Jadeveon Clowney. Shazier was right up there as well, as he usually is. There is Zach Martin. All in all, I feel like we got ourselves a good draft. I mean, just think about the future of this team. We'll take a look at the lineup. Once we adjust the lineup, we'll take a look at it and see the future of this organization. So you can see the pieces. We're going to move Bitonio out of tackle and probably put him at guard somewhere. But you can see the pieces. We've got Trent Richardson. We've got Travis Kelce. We've got Joe Thomas, Alex Mack, Mitchell Schwartz. And then on defense, you've got Jadeveon Clowney, Aaron Donald, Joe Hayden, Pierre Lewis. I mean, there's people, AJ Bouye, they're all going to develop next season. One of these two guys is going to win Defensive Player of the Year, or Defensive Rookie of the Year, I would guess. Now, the last piece of business before we wrap up this episode is, can I trade for Johnny Manziel? He went to Washington, so we got to go down and talk to them. He is backing up RG3. He's got a development trait. How difficult is it? I'll give you EJ Manuel for Johnny Manziel. They don't like that, okay? Don't really want to give up a draft pick. They need a receiver. Well, so do we. Yikes, our receiving core is bad. We have Aaron Hernandez. Let's see. We can give up not a whole lot, really. I mean, we have Frosty Rucker. I would be willing to give up Frosty Rucker, or probably Greg Hardy. As for linebackers, we don't have a middle linebacker. I thought we did. Wow. Okay, we are still very weak. This team is still very weak. I'll give you Frosty. He's 30 years old. I probably should have got draft picks for that too, shouldn't I have? Oops. Well, we got Johnny Manziel. I told you it wouldn't be difficult to get him. Probably should have got other draft picks with that. That's okay, because we're going to generate the best lineup, and Johnny's going to be our starter. Forget about squishy-faced Brandon Whedon. That's our guy right there. That's our quarterback. Johnny Football with a hidden development. He's our guy. That doesn't look like Johnny Manziel, but 92 throw power, 84 speed, 84 excel, and we are going to hopefully change his number. What was he wearing, number 2? Was he wearing number 2 in Cleveland? I think he was. Is that open? Number 1 is open. You know what? He's the man. He's Mr. Johnny Manziel, Johnny Football. We'll give him number 1 for a reason. Okay. So it's another interesting episode. I do like what we did because we got ourselves Aaron Donald and Jadeveon Clowney. That's going to be really, really good. But everything else is going to be a little bit weird. I am going to sign a middle linebacker in free agency since we need one on the roster. So that'll be new when we come back in next episode. But next episode is going to be the 2015 season. No, the 2014 season into the 2015 draft. That's right. The 2014 season into the 2015 draft. So if you enjoyed the episode, leave it a like, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I truly appreciate it. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.